songs in 1 or 2 days, you know, that type of thing, and did a couple gigs. It was awesome.
Yeah. And what sort?
Thought I did anyway, but I don't know.
But one thing about young kids is that I think that some of them have found this kind of classic rock and even UFO through Guitar Hero games. What do you think about the games? Do you know them or?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've never played them, but of course I know about them.
I believe there's a Jack Black one that has one of our songs on it.
Really?
I think maybe Rock Bottom. Have you seen this?
Yeah,
yes, I heard
yes.
it.
I had a young kid once, like 9 years old, say to me, "Hey, can you play War Pigs?" And I'm like, "How do you know War Pigs?" He's like, "Oh, from Guitar Hero." Oh, of course.
I mean, you know, to be honest, from my point of view, anything that can introduce our music to younger people is a good, good way to go. And you know, if kids with a plastic guitar in their living room, you know, they're going to get some decent music from there. From outside other bands, like you said, from Black Sabbath and Maiden and good stuff. No, but even in America, it's not that. I mean, yes, they'll play. I mean, I've actually talked to radio stations when I moved to Texas in 2005, and we had Monkey Puzzle out there, and I actually called local stations, and they'll play stuff that we recorded in the 70s, but they won't play stuff that we're recording now, so we only play classic rock. And my question was, well, how's it going to become classic if you don't play it? You know, it's very difficult. But where you will find it being played is kind of the satellite radio stations, which I don't know if you have those here so much, and that's where they will play that stuff. But on regular FM stations, it's pretty difficult to get played, you know, even your old stuff, you know. I mean, there's a lot of classic rock, you know, and they have a very, in my experience, they have a very short playlist, most of these stations, which is very frustrating. They'll play great bands like ZZ Top and Foreigner and Bad Company, but they always play the same tracks over and over. It's like, man, these guys have got like dozens of albums. Can't you like mix it up a bit? But I don't know why that is.
No, I figured it out.
They have to pay for it.
Backwards subliminal messages in the music. Play me this song on the radio now. And you play it backwards, and then they play it. This is how it works.
I thought it was maybe because they have to pay a royalty, so if they paid it for one song, they can play it as many times as they want. It doesn't cost any more money. That was my take on it. I could be wrong. You might have the key there.
Yeah. I was just going to say, one thing I know is that we've kept it rolling for what, like 7, 8 years now since I've been in the band. And from what I understand, back in the days, you guys had trouble keeping things going that consistently because there were some troubles with ex-members or whatever, you know, and there was different members coming in.
Fortunately, I wasn't too much. I had a couple of good long hiatuses there. I didn't really have to deal with that. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And I think, you know, as you said, we've had very positive. And interestingly enough, I mean, we're getting good reactions to the newer stuff too.
Right.
So people are obviously, you know, they're listening to it. And of course now SPV just brought out this Best of a Decade. And a couple of people have said to me, well, you know, why did you do that? And the truth is that we actually didn't think of that. SPV thought about doing it. And I think it was a great idea because, you know, in the old days, like in the Christmas days, we made an album a year. So you made the album, you toured, you were in the studio, made the next album, you toured. We don't tend to do that. There'll be a couple of years between albums now. So, you know, your name tends to disappear. So I think the fact that SPV came up with that Best of a Decade is great because not only does it keep your name up there, but it also gives people a chance to listen to the newer UFO with Vinnie and not have to spend the money on maybe 3 or 4 albums. You know, they can go and buy that compilation album for a reasonable price and get to hear some of the kind of the cream of the crop sort of thing. And I think that's a really good idea. You know, and then of course then if they like that they can go and buy the other albums, but it's not like they've got to invest a huge amount of money to actually hear, you know, what the band's doing now. It's hard when you've got that many albums. And of course, you know, your old fans want the classics. There's a certain amount of songs that we, you know, if we didn't play them, they beat us up when we left the building or something, you know. So it's hard to fit it all in because you're trying to fit it into 90 minutes or maybe, you know, maybe a couple of hours, and that's a lot of material to squeeze in there. So
I mean, even with my stuff, I went out and did a solo tour earlier in the year, and I have 8 records, and just coming up with a set list was so difficult to choose, to kind of narrow it down, and then for a while I was thinking, okay, maybe I should do like a medley of 7 or 8 songs, and I thought, nah, that's pretty lame, you can't do that. So you just have to choose something, you know, you can't do everything, it's impossible.
Well, I mean, I've seen slight criticism that so they're still playing the stuff from Strangers, you know, but that's what people want. I mean, there's a certain amount of songs we play that, you know, like I said, that people, and Phil sometimes will actually go, we have like a set list with alternates on there, you know, so that it's maybe, he gauges, and sometimes he'll call out, you know, what do you want to hear, and he'll give them a choice, you know, and most of the time, they want to hear, you know, only You Can Rock Me, or, you know, Lights Out, or something, so it's difficult to, you know, to introduce new material. I think every band has that, I'm sure. It's nothing personal with us.
Can you imagine the Eagles, you know, with so many hits?
Hotel California.
How do they decide on which songs they're going to do? Well, my near future is finish these last 6 gigs and get home and rest for a while.
Get well again.
Yeah, and we have more shows in December in the UK, so. And
then we're working on material for another album. I mean, hopefully, you know, that'll be sometime early next year. We'll get that together. But as Vinnie said, we've got a little time off after this. So everyone get well again. And get rid of this flu or whatever the hell it is that we've got. And then we have these shows before December. We've got another Hard Rock Hell in England and a couple of others, which will be fun. We did that a few years back. I think in 2007 we did Hard Rock Hell. It was good. And then obviously the holidays, like everybody, Christmas and New Year's. And then
basically to keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, and which is always the plan, you know, just to kind of keep things moving this way.
And to me, that's like exciting to, you know, create and write.
It's a little more tricky now. We're all spread out so far, you know. I mean, even Vinnie and I, though we're in the same country, we're miles apart. Phil's in Brighton and Paul's in Croydon, and you know, and so it takes some. It's like logistical nightmare, but it comes together.
Is it Germany where you go and start rehearsing?
Well, yeah, I mean, that the last album that kind of happened there. You know, and I did the drums. The last 2 albums that I've been on, I did the drums in Germany. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen this time. You know, but you know, the technology makes things a lot easier when you're spread apart now in the old days. Yeah. We shall see.
Recorded the guitars at home in my own studio. That's been great because I can just stay at home and work by myself, which is what suits me. That's how I like to work. And, you know, we utilize the internet to send files back and forth. So technology is great. Conversely, there have been times where I'm done a song or done an entire record and I'm at the pool like, I can relax now. I'm done the record and I got a phone call from Germany. Hey, can you record some more acoustic or do some more licks or solos in this song? And I'm like, shit, man. I thought I was done. Now I got to go back home and record again.
It's a tough life.
Yeah, it's so hard when you're at the pool with a margarita or a pina colada and somebody calls and says, hey, can you do another acoustic track?
Same as always, John Bonham. Always has been, always will be. He's, you know, no one did it like him, no one's done it like him since. So,
Did you know him?
No, saw him a few times. Actually said hello to him in a bar in Japan once, but never really got to know him personally. It was a shame. I would like to.
I met his son once.
You idiot. Then I actually haven't met Jason. No, I mean, obviously Jason was in the band right before I rejoined in 2005. So I'd love to meet Jason. You know, but yeah, I had loads of influences growing up. You know, most of the British drummers, Mitch Mitchell and Ginger Baker, Keith Moon. But I think once I'd heard Bonham, that was the door that opened for me. That sort of
I think a lot of people went through that door. A lot of drummers.
I think so. You know, he was just
or the Led Zeppelin door, even.
Led Zeppelin, exactly. Something about you, Hendrix, maybe.
Well, I mean, I grew up. It started out with Ritchie Blackmore, Deep Purple, Brian May with Queen and Page. And the Beatles, you know, Zeppelin and the Beatles, and I started playing guitar. Then I started getting into things like Jeff Beck, the Wired record, and then from there it just opened up, you know, one from Robin Trower to Carlos Santana, Eddie Van Halen, and then fusion guys like Al Di Meola, Larry Carlton, you know, all that stuff. blues guys like Albert King, B.B. King, Freddie King.
Yeah, all the kings.
All the kings.
Yeah.
What about slide playing? You play slide on these
I
albums.
play slide. I've been getting into that a little more, but it's never been really my area of expertise. I've never really considered myself a slide player. But I started getting into it a little more, and when I knew I was going to record some songs for these UFO records using the slide, I went back to Live at the Fillmore, Allman Brothers, and listened to Dwayne a lot and picked up a lot of that stuff. But I don't practice slide a lot. I just don't find myself playing a lot of slide at home for whatever reason. I like doing it, but, you know, just, I don't do it a lot. So I need to practice a little more, but yeah, it's a lot of fun.
We were going to tell you that.